Cashflow Pro offers free money management advice to help you take control of your finances. And now here's your host, personal finance enthusiast and licensed insurance broker, James Barber.
Good morning. Welcome to Oregon Cashflow Pro. My name is James Barber. I'm here to help you maximize your cash flow. How is everybody doing? You may have missed me last week. I wasn't here. Had to finally got to take a vacation. Way out west. Good evening. Finally got a vacation. We went down to Mexico. Had a blast. I put a couple of the videos up. We'll be making a... Oh, did I say good morning? Good evening. Yes, this is a replay. Thanks for that. And you must be able to hear me. So appreciate that. So we went down to Mexico, had a good time. Most of us had a good time. It was me, my wife, my brother-in-law, and his wife. And unfortunately, I'm home. Unfortunately, we went on an excursion to a cenote the second day we were there, on Tuesday, and he had some issues with the mask from snorkeling, and he ended up with a bunch of cenote water in his nose, and he had tipped his head up, and it ended up going down his throat, and it made him sick, and he was sick for like the whole trip, except for the very end of it. He finally got on some antibiotics, and we were at an all-inclusive resort, and he couldn't eat anything, so it was very sad. Very sad. He spent a bunch of money to go to this place, and wasn't able to take advantage. So yeah, that was rough. Northwest Pearl, how you doing? How's it going? BDN, good evening. It's glad to be back. I know I was missed. We were at the Valentin Imperial Maya. So it was just outside of Playa del Carmen. I'm not sure what it's referred to as there, but just outside of it. Kelman, good evening. Yeah, the inclusives are just off the beaten path. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty accurate. I did take a drone shot. I'm gonna be uploading that video too. I've got so much video work that I could do. I gotta get some work done on that. In the meantime, this is our Wealthcare Wednesday live stream, and I'm here to help answer any financial questions that you guys might have. See if we can help you out, maximize your cash flow as much as possible. BDN, you saw my video with the 5 animals. Oh, the family of Coati. That was pretty cool. That resort, the Coati were all over the place. Coati and iguana, all over the place. And we went and got a massage at a place where we had to drive to, and we saw some monkeys there. That was pretty cool. I think that was about the gist of the land animals we saw. What are my thoughts on Bitcoin today? Are the tulips coming home to roost? I don't think so. It sure felt like it at the beginning. I've been busy all day. I have not had a chance to look at all the news. But my understanding is all the crypto took a big dive because China is banning crypto. That's big. I mean, China is there's a lot of people with crypto there, which is probably why they wanted to ban it. But I'm assuming that was the big hit. And it seems like when Elon came out and said Tesla's got diamond hands, it's not selling their Bitcoin, it kind of helped spark a rally, and it came back up. It went down to 30,000. It went back up to 39,000 or something last I looked. So pretty interesting, but it wasn't just Bitcoin. It was all the crypto coins. Doge is like 20% down. Ethereum was way down. Ethereum dipped under 2,000. It was up. Ethereum was up to 4,500 just a couple weeks ago. So, Northwest, you heard it was old news brought back by Reuters. Oh, that would be interesting. So China didn't ban it then? I'll definitely have to look into it. I do not have enough information to talk intelligently on everything that's been happening with that. Z Channel, good evening. Way out west, you've never really seen the value of crypto. Maybe many big names say it's only worth what the next guy's willing to pay. No true value in of itself. At least gold can be used in electronics and aerospace. Yeah, I mean, gold's use is very specific, and most people can't use it. The value that I see in crypto is if you get an unstable country, people need to migrate, and there's a lot of migrations that are going to be happening, especially with climate change. You can't migrate with gold, but you can migrate with an electronic wallet filled with crypto. So it could be very useful, a lot more useful than gold for a lot of people as a store of value. The key to that, though, is it has to store the value. It's still, as a store of value, if you put $1,000 in it last year, you have way more than $1,000. It has to go way down in order for you to lose that store of value. Now, a lot of people aren't putting it in as a store of value. They're putting it in as an investment, trying to see it gain value. That there could be some contention. But I think as a store of value, I think it can work very well. And that doesn't necessarily just require somebody being willing to pay more. Or being willing to pay a lot more, to put it that way. And like I said, there's a lot of people who are willing and find a lot of use for it. A lot of people don't trust fiat currency. You get a lot of people in unstable countries that see that as a good store of assets. What a lot of people have been doing prior to crypto taking off and being a very liquid form is you would see people dumping money into foreign real estate. Vancouver, Canada, there's a number of places along the West Coast, number of places along the East Coast where housing prices are jacked way up because people buy them and then they don't even they don't even use them. They don't rent them out. They just sit empty because it's a lot safer for people to take their money from their country, buy the real estate here and just let it sit. And then when they need it, they just sell it at that point and get their money out. It's also a place they could store, fraudulently ill-gotten gains. Bribes and stuff. They'll ship it out of the country, buy some property here, and then they finish up their political work in their home country and go retire here and sell the goods that they accumulated. A lot of different ways. You don't think you would take a tulip or crypto as payment for your time or products? Migrating without internet access, which is not a given, doesn't make me feel any better about crypto. Well, I mean, you got to look at the alternatives. The alternative is migrating with cash or gold. And that's not going to be any safer. I think you'd be better off knowing that wherever you're migrating to, there could be some internet access. And, people have cell phones all across the world these days. So, to each their own. For some people, it'll work better than others. In fact, I signed up with Crypto.com to be able to accept crypto as payment for my consultations. I'm happy to do that. It's not really that big of a deal to me. I can always convert it right away into fiat currency if I wanted to, or I can just sit on it and let it grow. Some different options. Would I be comfortable with my crypto vault in the cloud? Yeah, probably. Probably, because right now I don't have a crypto vault. I don't even have a wallet. I just use Robinhood, although I don't have any investments in Robinhood cryptocurrency currently. I got out this last weekend during that big spat, which was ridiculous, between Elon and the Bitcoin community. Bunch of stories out there about lost wallets on hard drives and USB sticks. Yeah, Yeah, I would worry about that. I definitely would worry about that. So I would rather have a wallet in the cloud, I think, or rely on big companies' wallet, keeping it safe, like I did with my Robinhood at the time. Then I don't have to worry about it. So some people would rather have their own control over it. I don't. For me, I don't invest too much in it. So it might be different if I had millions in crypto personally. I would probably want control over it myself, because you don't want a company to be down when you need to access it or get rid of it. Harry Bowman, damn, crypto had a good day today, didn't it? He says. Your portfolio certainly took its fair share of beatings last week. Diamond hands. Yeah, your Ethereum took a major beating. That was ouch. So today's my first day back. Got back doing the live streams. Had a good day trading today. We'll see how tomorrow goes, but I've been doing very well doing my day trading with just focusing on Tesla. What are you guys doing out there? What did you do? What did you do this week when the market tanked? Tesla especially. Tesla's been coming way down. Are you guys doing anything to hedge your portfolio? Are you diversifying? What are you doing? I basically went to all cash. I have a few positions, a few long positions, but I got out of almost every position over the last month. Do I ever day trade with stocks on their dividend day? No, because I basically only day trade Tesla, and Tesla doesn't do dividends. But I have bought dividends. I have bought the stocks on the day before ex-dividend day, and then sold it the next day after so I could get the dividend. I did that to some success, although oftentimes it'll drop. So what I would do, it'll drop immediately the next day. So what I would do is buy a put in case it dropped. If it didn't drop, then I can exit the stock and exit the put. Everything's good. If it does drop, you got to hope that the put gains in value more than the stock dropped. But not what I used to do. I used to swing trade with a dividend stock. Great stock to do it with. It's called ORC, O-R-C. My strategy was, in the middle of the month, they would announce the dividend. At the end of the month, they'd pay out. They would have their ex-dividend day, and so it would pay out in a month. It would pay out a month later. Well, like clockwork, when they do the announcement of the dividend, the stock price goes up. A couple of days later, it comes back down, and then when the dividend date rolls around, it goes back up again, and the dividend pays out and it comes back down. And so what I would do is I would buy it on the dip. It goes up for the announcement, I sell it. It goes down, I buy it. It goes up for the dividend, and instead of holding on to the stock to get the dividend, it actually would go up by a lot more than whatever the dividend paid out. And so I would just sell it on the day before ex-dividend day, not have to worry about waiting a month for the dividend to pay out. I would just get my profits then, and then it would drop right after dividend, and I would buy it again. So it ended up working out really well. But I haven't done that for a long time because it's a little bit slow. It's consistent, but it's a little bit slow to get the gains. Harry says, most investors would normally sell stocks for bonds in a time like this. Government is making that unviable. Crypto was at all-time highs and real estate is still quite high. Yeah. Yep. There really isn't any good choices. Cash is never going to beat inflation at the moment, he says. The only option left to make money is not exactly what Wall Street and all fund managers did. Puts and shorts on whichever market you wanted to. Yeah, and I made some good money on puts. Especially today on Tesla. I had some that I carried over last night. Thank you. That makes more sense. The only option left to make money is exactly what Wall Street and the fund managers did. Puts and shorts on whichever market you wanted to. Yep. Yep. That makes sense. And I did good holding puts on Tesla. I'm a Tesla bull, but you got to go with what the market's telling you. I made money on puts holding it overnight. A massive gain. I think I got almost 100% gain overnight. And then I switched to calls today, and I did pretty good doing calls during the day. That's not really a grammar issue. You added an extra word in there. It did totally change the meaning of the sentence. So did you not sell out of any of your crypto positions, seeing it drop as it did? And if you didn't, why not? Like, it was pretty clear that it was going to keep going down. Would have been a good time to sell some and buy back in lower. But maybe that's just too much headache. Any questions? What are you guys doing to maximize your cash flow? Any Oliver, how you doing, man? Good evening. How's your Model 3 treating you? Way Out West. I mentioned China. You thought about one of your favorite shows. China is a pig on LSD. You never know which way it's going to run. Huh, interesting. Apollo, how's it going? Harry says you sold out a sum a few weeks ago at the top. Nice. But with the crash today, you weren't awake. You woke up with most coins down 50%. Oh, no. Ouch. Well, it's good you sold out of some the other day then, or a few weeks ago. So you had some cash freed up to buy in at the dip, right? Did you buy at the dip? Or are you waiting for dippy dip? You waiting for the dip. And then you missed it. Oliver, everyone's so quiet and beat up from the market the past month. I noticed that. Way Out West, do I watch Billions? I love that show, Billions. That was a good show. Really good writing. Good characters. I like that one. Oliver, Model 3 is great. You got your windows tinted. Been driving on chill more often since traffic is getting back in LA. Oh, really? You change it to chill. Does that just make it easier so you don't accidentally hit the gas too quickly? I've never tried chill, but I did. I had to get my windshield replaced on my Tesla Model Y, and the loaner car I got, they had it in, it was locked into chill mode. That was really chill. I didn't like it. Way Out West, you're trying to get a whole life policy in force. Not much you can think of to do with your 401k or IRAs. All right. So did you get your medical exams done already, or are they? If you're going with Penn Mutual, they may not even require a medical exam. Oftentimes they'll approve you without that. Let me know how long it takes to get that approval. Penn Mutual touts being very quick. Oh, Oliver, you tend to have a heavy foot when you accelerate. Well, that's good to know that about yourself. And if chill mode helps you avoid that, then that's good for you. Harry still thinks it will dip further, but you've entered some smaller positions for now. All right. Well, good luck to you. Always like to see you guys be successful in your investments. 75% of the time you're on standard. Chills with heavy traffic, family in the car. Your mother hates the instant torque. Yeah, I'm sure. So does my wife. Only unless she's driving. If she's driving, I imagine she probably wouldn't mind it, but she doesn't really drive. She doesn't have a heavy foot. Way Out West, you get a physical with your regular doctor. You let yourself go the last 4 months. You're putting off the exam until you get back on track. Did not go with Penn. Oh, you didn't. Interesting. Who did you end up going with? Or are you just waiting to do anything until you get back into shape? Harry to Apollo. Oh, you mostly in Ethereum, but you hold Bitcoin, Link 2, and trade in and out of BCH, ETC, and LTC. Gotcha. Oliver, how's the Model Y? Been a bit quiet on it. I know, I need to do a video on it. The Model Y's been great. I love it. It is the most favorite car I've owned, for sure. Lafayette, you're going with Lafayette. Why did you choose Lafayette? I'm not too sure about Lafayette's dividends. I haven't been able. Is that the company that I was not able to find out their dividends? They are like very cagey on what they pay out on dividends. It does not match. It does not match what they illustrate. So I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to see if I can look at it. Lafayette, if that's the company I'm thinking of, I was trying to find the dividend rates and I couldn't. But what I could find was not attractive. 5.3 total dividend in 2020. Oh, that might not be the one I'm thinking of then. I might be thinking of a different one. 5.3, it's not great, but it's all right. There was one I was thinking of that somebody was getting sold on, and this company, it was you Google it, nothing comes up. It just says, oh, they're keeping the same dividend rate as last year. And then you look up last year, and it says, oh, they're keeping the same dividend rate as the year before. And it's like, it's been that way for like a number of years. And that dividend rate was horrible. It was like 3% or something like that. So like it wasn't even up to the guaranteed. It wasn't even up to the guaranteed rate. It was really weird. And I can't remember what company that was. I was thinking it was Lafayette, but it must not have been, because I can see when I Google, it says 5.3%. So, interesting. Well, I'm interested in why you chose Lafayette over Penn. Because I think I'd be surprised if Lafayette illustrated better than Penn. Definitely a big difference in the dividend payouts. I didn't get a tan. I did get a tan. I did get a little bit of a tan. Michelle, you sent me a copy of your Inforce illustration. Probably need to schedule a follow-up. Yes. Yes, we'll need to schedule a follow-up with me. I'll put my link to my Calendly in the chat here. Did I look at that? Oh yeah, last time we talked, you had to request that Inforce illustration. I haven't seen the Inforce one. Did you send me the Inforce illustration? I'm not seeing it. Yeah, for some reason I'm not seeing it in my emails. Mega Shanes, good evening. You're waiting for Ford to bring out an EV Raptor. Okay. Oliver, we ate all kinds of food. It was actually really neat. They had a bunch of different restaurants down there in Mexico at the resort we were at. French, Japanese, Italian, Mexican, and then just like a surf and turf. And it was good. Really, really good. Some of that stuff was great. So I had some steaks, a lot of fish, shrimp, octopus, squid. Didn't eat much. We had some sushi. Sushi was really good. I did a video of the, they have a hibachi. And so I took a video of the guy doing all the preparation of the food. I'm going to put that up. So. Way out west. Your agent does Penn as well. You grilled him because Penn was better than Lafayette, but we agreed Lafayette's a better fit for you. On paper, Lafayette outperformed IBC Global Design, Mass, and Guardian. Okay. Interesting. That's interesting. I'd be interested in seeing that illustration if you care to share. Be interested in seeing how that looks. I'm always interested in seeing good policy designs out there and how they perform. I figured long term was what you meant. I figured long term. Because I think the illustrations I've seen from them are like 70-30 or a 60-40 type design, which it would need long term in order to make up for what it misses out on at the beginning. Oliver, you want everyone to get hungry? Okay, yes, resend it, Michelle. I'll keep an eye out for it. Fritz, good evening. A dividend-paying whole life that does not offer a PUA rider. What is the best strategy you advise for such a policy, seeing that is the only option available in your country? Dividend-paying whole life that does not offer a PUA rider. Why does it not offer a PUA rider? Do you only have whole life as an option? Do you maybe have access to IULs? Because there's flexibility that can be built in there. What country are you in? Let me know what country you're in. I can't do anything outside the U.S., so I'm not too familiar with it, but that's surprising if they don't offer PUA rider or some way to be able to contribute more to the policy. Interesting. I would probably not be very interested in a regular, traditionally designed whole life policy. I would probably buy the term and invest the difference if that was the case, because they're just not very attractive for what I like. They're not very attractive. If it doesn't have the ability for me to overfund it and turn it into cash value, accelerated cash value, I would probably do something else. I don't like to be illiquid. A regular whole life with no PUA rider is like no cash value for a couple of years. And then it'll slowly start to build, and you might break even after 15 years. That's way too long for me. Way too long for a break even. I want my money working for me all the time. I don't want to wait 15 years where it's less liquid. Oliver, was it nice to take a small break off YouTube and stocks? Good reset? Yeah, although I didn't take a break from stocks. I traded even while I was down there. Definitely planned on doing some trading while I'm traveling. I was enjoying it. And I was still doing well. So. Way out west. 15 plus years. Oh, yeah, about what I would expect. PUA or PUA riders. Maybe you're thinking of blended PUA. Well, in order to be able to do in order to do the blended design, you have to have a PUA rider. But PUAs in general, like dividends, can often buy paid up additions, even if you don't have a paid up additions rider. The dividend can buy paid up additions. But that's interesting if whatever country that person is from doesn't offer any even PUA riders. Kind of strange. You're thinking about a PUA blended with a 1-year term. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, different carriers have different ways to get the blends in that will make it last. Your ability to contribute, it'll make it last as long as you want to contribute. So for some carriers, it's just a straight PUA rider. With some, you got to do a different type of a blend. But it's almost all 1-year term is what gets blended. Fritz, you still got it back in 2018 because it was the only option for dividend paying whole life. Seeing it was the only option, you worked with it anyway because long term it will perform good. As long as you're okay with the illiquidity early on, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. In the long run, it's better than a savings account. And it gets you a death benefit, permanent death benefit. So that's cool. That's basically the way you got to look at it. And as long as you're financially okay to be able to do that, it should work out just fine. Harry, this time last week you were looking at Tesla. This week you're researching how to sell a kidney. Way out west, you're thinking about the other guy's question, 0 PUA available or blended PUA. That's what I was thinking, but it's basically a PUA rider is what's needed in order to do the blend. So I'm assuming he was saying no PUA riders available. So you just can't add extra funds above and beyond whatever the cost of insurance is. You read somewhere some companies do not offer blended PUA, just PUA and term riders. Yeah, there are some companies that you can just do a whole life policy and you can do a term rider, a straight level term rider blended in with it. It doesn't end up being a blended PUA, but it does give the ability to contribute more to the policy. So I have seen that. How much can your cat offer? You need to buy the dip. I don't know what you mean by my cat. Are you talking about for a kidney? We'll need shipping costs too. I have no idea what you're saying, Harry. Can you buy me a cat? I do not want a cat. My kids are always trying to get kittens. Oh, Mega Shane said his cat loves kidneys. Gotcha. That's what Harry was responding to. Now it's all making sense. Somehow I missed that question. Or that comment. Fritz, you recently got an additional policy that is attached to the markets. You opted for it to be attached 100% to real estate and minimal equity. Ah, so you must have got something like a VUL, Variable Universal Life Policy. That's what that sounds like. So good luck. Good luck with that one. I'm not a big fan of VULs just because it tends to be higher costs, and I don't see the advantage of doing that within a life insurance policy because you don't get any guarantees. There's no guarantees against the downside in the market. So not a big fan of those myself. Oliver asks, how's my life insurance business going? Really good. It's going very well. I'm very busy, meeting with people all day, every day, basically. And I'm loving it because I just design policies that work. They produce high cash value. There's no trickery involved here. I put all the numbers out. I cut the commission to the bone, but I don't have any marketing it costs. Like the only marketing I do is my YouTube videos. So I don't pay anybody. I don't buy any ads. I don't have any overhead because I work out of my office in the garage. And costs are minimal. I can cut my commission to the bone and just design people the best policies that they can get. And so people are happy. People like the transparency. And it's like it doesn't, because of all that transparency, it doesn't take me very long to actually work with them and design the policy. So even though I make a lower commission, if you look at the hourly wise, the time spent on beginning to end on these policies, it doesn't take all that long because I put all the information out in videos. So people learn what they need to know about whatever they're looking for. We talk, discuss what might be appropriate for their situation, and then they may or may not need some more time to study or look at what we go over, but I design the policies right there. I do illustrations right in front of them, showing them exactly why we're doing what we're doing. And for the most part, they leave our meetings knowing more than a lot of insurance agents do. Like I teach them what to look for, how to design a good policy, what makes up a good design, and it just works out really good. And so I've just been slammed, busy. Yeah, the product sells itself. I don't do any sales. I just educate. I educate and I present. And if people want to work with me, great. If you don't, no big deal. That's okay. You know, I can't get everybody. So, and I also find that I'm helping a lot of insurance agents too. I talk to a lot of insurance agents that want to know how to design better policies. And because I can't help everybody, I love helping them. In fact, I give quite a bit of my time away helping other agents learn how to design better policies so that they can be doing better by their clients. Works out pretty good. Way out west, if you have an IUL and you get to the tipping point of it eating itself alive, what's the best way to exit or transfer the funds? Tipping point 60 to 75 years old. So 60 years old, it should not be the tipping point. An IUL, the cost of insurance does not start to really go up until you get into your 70s. Ideally, if you make it to 75, you've got the overloan protection rider. You can pull out all the cash, 95% of the cash value, and just turn off the policy essentially without having the tax consequences. If the policy is going to be eating itself, you waited too long to take action. But the only reason it would eat itself is if you're not funding it at a high enough level. And if you're not funding it at a high enough level, you can reduce the death benefit, bring that MEC limit down, and the costs within the policy. So there's no reason to keep paying for more than you can afford. And if you're not max funding those policies, I don't even recommend using them. You don't want to minimum fund a policy and run the risk of it lapsing because you underfunded it. And if you're max funding it, it's not going to lapse. It's not going to lapse. You're putting in way more. If it's max funded how I design it, I should clarify. You're putting in way more than the underlying cost of insurance is going to run you. It'll last a long time, even with hardly any growth in the policy. It'll last a long time. So, time to hire and outsource some roles. I know. I actually had somebody that was helping me edit videos, and she just moved on. She just notified me that she can't do it any longer. So I'm going to be looking for somebody else to edit my videos. I'm going to offer the job to my kids first, see if one of them will do it. Sounds like Fritz needs to go Dave Ramsey, buy term and invest the rest. Yeah, maybe. Not necessarily, though. It can be a good option, but it sounds like he's okay with having less liquidity and to have the safety that whole life provides, which I think that's great. Nothing wrong with that. Fritz, your plan is to use the additional policy to grow interest in the inflation environment for a number of years until the 7th year when cash value starts for whole life to borrow and pay back. Your cash value doesn't start till the 7th year? Whoa! Typical whole life policy should start to generate cash value in like year 3. But that's here in the US. Most traditional, like 100% base premium policies will start to generate cash value in year 3. It'll be slow, but there will be some cash value that you can access. Would I consider life insurance as another hedge against inflation? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why it's better. It's a better place to store your emergency funds, capital expenses, as opposed to keeping it in a savings account or checking account. Those are not a hedge at all against inflation. In fact, they don't give you hardly any growth. And if inflation is happening, you're just losing value. Your dollars are losing value. You get into a whole life policy that has a 4% guarantee, although that's changing soon. Even after the expenses, you're likely going to beat inflation, even with the guaranteed rates. So pretty interesting. Yeah, I would definitely consider life insurance as a hedge against inflation. The other thing too, not only is keeping your money in it a hedge against inflation, but let's say you encounter runaway inflation, hyperinflation. You could pull your money out of your policy and just go buy an asset. Let that asset grow with the hyperinflation, sell it, pay off your loan, and still have money left over. So it's a good way to actually fight hyperinflation as well. Fritz, exactly. Cash value where you're from starts 7th year. Wow. But you were one of the last persons and youngest persons to get into the whole life policy before they stopped offering that type of policy here. Oh, so it's no longer that way where you're at? Because wow, that's crazy. 7 years. I can't imagine. Can't imagine. Talk about hodling something. Buy and hold. You basically have to buy and hold that for a long time before you see any gains from it. Do I think we're heading into a heavy inflation or already in one? I don't think we are. I don't think we are. We had basically negative inflation last year, and it's catching up this year. So it looks like heavy inflation this year, but when you take the average over the last 2 years, it's about normal, I think. I think that's what it's looking like. So we'll see what happens. It might end up increasing, and we might see more, but that would most likely only happen if all of the efforts to stimulate the economy, to help people that are hurting, if all of those efforts just go to people who don't need it. If all those efforts puts more money into the hands of the people that already have money, it's going to lead to more inflation, heavier inflation. If we get it into the hands of the people who need it, who are struggling, going without work, I don't think we have to worry about the inflation in that case. Not heavy inflation. Way out west, what warning signs or triggers for whole life company demutualizing? I would say look at their dividend rates. If they're struggling to meet and beat the guaranteed values, there's a reason for that. That's a big red flag. So that's what I would be looking for. If an insurance company keeps reducing their dividend rate and they're running very close to or below the guaranteed rate, they might soon be looking to turn into a stock company. That's one way to get around having to worry about the dividends. Mega Shanes, what if you had a medical issue like heart disease? Is there stand down time? Typically, if you can go 5 years past an event, heart attack, heart surgery, heart disease, whatever, and if you're taking medications and you've got 5 years past the event and the medication is showing to be effective, you can likely qualify for insurance. So 5 rules, a typical rule of thumb. Way out west, tired, your job got 100 times harder because of the Colonial Pipeline incident. Kills you because you told them so, plus it was not a big deal. It was not a game changer like Stuxnet and Triton. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, meet Kevin running for California governor. That's interesting. I think he'll likely get slaughtered. YouTube will be interesting to see if YouTube fame translates into anything else. I mean, first, the recall will have to be effective. May not even find out. Way out west, do you think the new guarantee rates are going to shield the poor performers and put off the inevitable demutualization? I don't think the new guarantee rates are going to shield poor performers. In fact, I think it might make it more obvious. If the guaranteed rates are 2% and insurance companies start offering or start paying out 3% dividend, I think that's pretty obvious where they're at. If they're still at the guaranteed, pretty obvious where they're at. At the 4% guarantee rate, you have no idea. You don't know if they're just barely missing 4%, if they're at 3%, 2%, 1%. You don't know where they're at in that. You just know that they're only giving out the guarantee. So I would think that it would be a little easier to identify the poor performers and ones who might be at risk of demutualization. Oliver asks, is there such a thing as an umbrella policy for life insurance? You're just guessing and laying out random thoughts. Excuse your lack of knowledge. No. So an umbrella policy is a typical insurance, liability insurance product. And it adds an umbrella over everything. But that's for liability. It's not for life insurance. Fritz, here's what you're trying to understand as well. If you're one of the few persons in your country that has one of these dividend whole life policies, how much are you engraved in the dividend pool? I can't tell you. I have no idea. Typically around here, the higher your base face amount, the greater the amount of dividend that you will receive. Yours doesn't start paying out anything though until after year 7. Just mind-boggling to me. There must be some growth in the policy. They're just not making it available to you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about your dividend pool though. Well, how did Gavin Newsom get his Instagram post removed the same day as his announcement? I didn't understand that. I didn't listen to the video, but it might just be something to make news with. I'm getting tired of sitting. I've been sitting in here all day. We're about running up on the hour. So if you guys have some questions, hit me with them. I'll do my best to answer them, but my voice is getting challenged here. Don't know yet what I'm having for dinner. I gotta go figure that out as soon as we hop off of here. Way Out West says, you keep thinking America when you talk about Fritz's comments. Huh. Okay. I don't get it. Oh, he reported it for harassment because Kevin called him a weenie baby. That's so weird. Why call names? It's just silly. Not a good look. political wise, I would think anyways. No idea. I don't pay attention to basketball or really any sports these days. Don't pay attention at all. Oliver thinks it's fun to see the childish games in the political spectrum. I think it's just silly. Oh, Way Out West, you got it better in the USA with whole life. America! Gotcha. Too funny. All right, well, we didn't quite make it an hour, but my voice is going. I'm not sure why, but it was bothering me a little bit yesterday on the way home, and it managed to make it throughout the day today, but it's definitely running out. The homelessness problem in LA is bad. Yeah, it's bad all over the place. Not good. Hopefully we can do something. It takes more than just a governor to fix a homelessness problem. Problem is, in California, you have a lot of, and every state really, you have a lot of localities that have power as well. And the state doesn't just get to choose what to do with homeless people. You can't. I find this out, even locally here. You try and provide housing for them, and whatever neighborhood you want to put that in, that neighborhood is gonna revolt. They don't want it. They don't want them in their neighborhood. Yeah, something needs to be done about them, but I thought it would be in a different neighborhood, not mine. So it's always a challenge, and that's definitely not something that gets solved at the governor's level. The governor can help, for sure. They can help provide funds, but a lot of the solutions will have to be done. The actual housing solutions are going to have to be figured out in each local jurisdiction. Now, the underlying root causes, yeah, something can be done there, but you're talking slow and likely expensive, and these are efforts that are probably very difficult to make happen during any political term. And spending a lot of money on that, not seeing the results, might make it hard to win re-election. So there's just challenges. There's challenges there. Harry said a UK YouTuber over there called Nico ran for London mayor in the recent election. He pulled 6% with his number one policy to tell Boris Johnson to shush. That's funny. That's entertaining. Mega Shanes. Is it bad in Oregon? Is what? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Homelessness. It's bad all over the place. For sure. All right, guys. I'm going to have to hop out of here. Call it a night. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys joining, providing some conversation. I did have to, yeah, you have to wear your mask traveling still. I think here locally they said you can go without it if you're vaccinated, and I am fully vaccinated, so we'll see. I may still wear it. Depends on what's going on. There's still a lot of people out there that haven't been vaccinated. No need to take the risk. For them, putting on a mask doesn't really bother me. I can breathe through it just fine. Doesn't bother me one bit. So, all right, guys. Have a good night. I will play you out with some music, and we will see you next Wednesday for another Wealth Care Wednesday live stream. Take care, and let's have a good week. Oh, Fritz, sorry, I missed your question. What do I think about paying more interest when I borrow from the whole life policy? Does it really affect cash value, dividend pool, and death benefit? It can, depends on the carrier, and you're in a different country, so I don't know. One thing you might look at is you might have access to banks that will collateralize your whole life policy for you, and then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about how it might affect anything inside the policy. So good luck, man.